All right, so I am viewing your screen and we are ready to go.
Sweet.
So hello everyone. My name is Laura. I'm a fellow steamroller and I'm joined by Tad. He is a talented artist and another fellow steamroller. We are so excited for everyone tuning in today and joining us. We have such a delightful experience in store and we're happy you've chosen to spend part of your Saturday with us. We have an exclusive first look at a never before seen character from Spice Frontier. So with us expanding on Spice Frontier today, that's Steamroller's original award-winning animated short. And if you have yet to watch that animated short, please hang out with us now. And then be sure to check that out after we conclude today. We'll be sure to post the link in the comments. So as some of you may already know, most of you may already know, Spice Frontier focuses on the journey of Kent Williams. He's a struggling chef who leads a disparate band of adventurers aboard their ship called the Serrano. And they're eager to uncover the culinary secrets of human ancestors because Kent is a human. And he and his companions traverse the cosmos in search of those rare earth spices. So the animated short glimpses at Kent along with his skillful pilot, Sela. They're in action in that short, but the star of today's live stream, along with Tad, of course, is the character never before seen in action. We are elated to introduce to you Datmore. So Datmore is one of the pillars of Kent's past. He played a very pivotal role in shaping Kent into the curious, bold, and ever-improving chef that he is today. He is the perfect focus for this live stream, and I'll tell you why. With Lightbox Expo, the weekend is all about celebrating and uniting the artistic community and artists all across the globe. And Datmore serves as a mentor to Kent, and he helps him hone his craft and strengthen his artistic culinary skills. So he's the perfect fit, and we're so excited to share him with you. Tad is ready to provide that first look and bring the character of Datmore to life. And as he walks you through his artistic process, please feel free to share any questions you have. We are forever thrilled to answer them for you. And with that being said, I'm going to give Tad the floor. So Tad, take it away.
Right now, I am figuring out the shape language of this big guy. So, as you said, Datmore was Kent's first real mentor. Tried get him really into, just culinary. And when I got the character, I have pretty much kind of two jobs here working at the same time. I'm kind of inventing a species and a character that's actually going to provide, substance to the story. So it's a lot of work. While drawing it and talking at the same time, it's harder than it looks. Just let y'all know. Pretty much right now, when I started working on Datmore, this is what I started with. Just a bunch of shapes, and I just felt like a round character would fit. The reason being is just because this character, correct me if I'm wrong, Laura, he was the chef on another ship, right?
Correct. He was the chef aboard the merchant ship, the Nostro.
That's right. And I just love this. I love the ideas of those chefs that really get into their work, and they kind of they really like food. I feel like a chef should really enjoy food just as much as anyone else, probably more. So I kind of like the idea of a big, rounded character. So I kind of focus more on the circle. If I went with a straight, a long character, to me it would have just felt too pretentious and just wouldn't contrast well with how Kent would work out. Heather's online. Hey everybody. So I went with round. Now, first couple ideas was, let's give him the one arms, one leg. But I also wanted to see what it'd be like to give him two arms because he's jumping in the kitchen, he's doing all these things at one time. They'll speed him up. But in the long run, we decided to just bring it down to just giving him 2 arms, but really long arms, so that way, he could reach. Like if he's in the kitchen, he could reach far. He can move, still keep that movement quick, and also it's a little bit easier to animate. So in the long run, we ended up with that one right there. Is this making sense so far? By the way, I'm kind of rambling.
You are on fire.
I am on fire. So I go through my references here. So now that we have a starting idea, a lot of times it's like I got to break down the pose. I got to understand what I'm drawing now. Because at this point, this is a completely new character to me. I haven't drawn him enough times. So now take the time to kind of break him down, understand what I'm doing. And as I'm thinking about it, I kind of had this idea for him, like based off a frog. I just like this little, like, ribbit, like, thing going on frogs. And, like, I gave him this, like, nose, like, because if anyone knows me, I always draw myself with a big nose, so it's kind of like a shout out to me a little bit. Give him a big nose.
I have a question for you, Tad.
Sure.
So with the character of Datmore, his name beginning with D as in dog, not B as in bat, we have a question coming in. How much character background info do you get prior to starting your sketches?
Ooh,
and then how much influence do you get to bring into the design?
Character info, that one, see, I got my info, like, if I remember correctly, if I read it correctly, Datmore did not have a lot of info, if I remember the book correctly.
I do have little tidbits to share about him with our audiences. But initially, when you had first started with the artistic process, what background info were you provided?
Huh? So I can't mention where I got my info from. It's a secret! No, I was given like a good chapter to read about Datmore and how he met up with Kent and all that fun jazz. I don't remember Datmore's species being real. Like, I remember Jalil told me the species, but I don't think it was really like finalized in like any like set traits or anything like that. So I had I got to explore a little bit more than some other characters. Like there's some other characters, like they know where they're going. They're like, this is what we want. We're going to base everything this way. We're like, gotcha. And there's some times where it's just like, we're not sure where we're going. So let's just see what we can come up with. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can confirm now, as the character currently exists, he is an Eldritch. That is his species.
That's the species. Thank you. I'm still learning.
And I can reveal bits and pieces of who he is and share the story of his influence over Kent, if that fits in here with you.
Yeah, it does. Go ahead.
All right. So with Kent being the central character of Spice Frontier, he decided to leave home in his early teens to pursue his dream of one day traveling the interplanetary Spice Road. And he wants to learn all about the different types of cuisines from the countless planets of his universe. As he is a wanderer in the midst of his wayfarer lifestyle along Demed, he learns of the merchant ship called the Nostro, which we mentioned previously in this live stream.
Yep.
And the Nostro has a reputation for serving exquisite cuisine, and Kent overhears the crew of the Nostro highly praising the chef, can't say enough good things about the cuisine, and Kent decides he needs to meet this chef, who is Datmore. So when they do meet, Kent overshares his passion and his enthusiasm, and Datmore is quickly won over. And Datmore decides to take Kent under his wing and teach him different things.
That's right. Yes, he became sous Kent became sous chef to Detmore here, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Aboard the Nostro. I'm sorry. Aboard the Nostro, Detmore does invite him to become his sous chef.
Yes.
But there's a proving ground to how Kent kind of earns his way into that position. So every time the Nostro docks, Detmore meets up with Kent. He devotes his time to telling all of his stories because he understands that Kent isn't as well traveled, and he really takes a liking to Kent's passion and his curiosity. So he also gives him different culinary challenges. He'll present a dish to him and say, please make this for me. I want to see how skillful you truly are. And with him being an Eldrick, one of these challenges, he asks Kent to prepare a native Eldrick dish. And Kent, he's so up to the challenge. He's so excited. And with this challenge, after an hour of intense preparation, he arrives at the step involving the key ingredient, which is an uncommon seasoning. And Kent makes the decision, he makes the call to substitute the key ingredient with precisely balanced blend of local Demed herbs. And he believes this is going to suffice for that key ingredient. Once he's finished, he's so proud of his dish, and he points out to Detmore that this should be superior to his original expectation. He should be so excited to enjoy it. But Detmore points out that the original key ingredient, that uncommon seasoning, was in a jar on the spice rack the entire time. And he wonders why Kent didn't use it. And he removes the lid and he allows Kent to breathe in the uncommon seasoning, and he's just blown away. He can't believe he made that misstep. And he understands that by substituting that key ingredient and sacrificing that authenticity, his dish is actually inferior. So he learns an extremely valuable lesson, one that stays with him throughout his life, that there's no substitute for authenticity. He never forgets that you can't sacrifice the genuine ingredients for something you think will suffice as a substitute. And in learning that lesson and learning so many others, Detmore says, you know what, you're worthy of being my sous chef.
Accepting your failures. All right. So now that I played with the shape enough, I kind of got a basic idea of where I'm going with this character. Now we kind of got to figure out what he's going to be wearing. And now we're into the next issue is how to make a sci-fi chef, which is going to be fun. Because he has to feel exquisite, like worked on an exquisite ship, but at the same time feel almost sci-fi. And a lot of times you can find references and stuff like that. And I have some references here that I'm looking at to give me some inspiration, of course. But right now, I'm just going to start trying to come up with ideas and just, I got a base sketch that I want to start on. So we'll shrink him down a little bit. How's the comment section so far?
We have a viewer who has shared that they started following us back when we started making Deadwood. That is so exciting. We do have many different exciting projects that we have going on at Steamroller, and we're so excited that viewers and our supporters are keeping tabs on all of them. We greatly appreciate everyone who enjoys our craft and our art.
Deadwood's fun.
We do have a comment from James. He's asking you, Tad, do you have a favorite body type to design, such as large or small characters, strange body types with gnarly limbs, or characters more rooted in real life proportions?
Me? I like to draw myself a lot. I'm kidding. I like anything that just really allows me to, like, that. I can only keep it really vague because I don't have like a favorite body type, but I just like things that just like allow me to push a shape a little bit. Like they're, like I don't really have a favorite body type. To be honest with you, it's like I'm thinking about it. It's like I don't think so. Like I'm sorry, I'm trying to think about it while I'm drawing. Give me a second.
Yeah, no, take your time thinking about it.
Let's see. No, I just like playing with shape. So it's like whatever. Like I don't really have a favorite. Just let me play. I just like to play, and just give me whatever. Now I want to talk about something that I feel passionately about. Not really, but the chef hat. I kind of feel like the chef hat. It's just symbolically iconic. Like there needs to be some kind of chef hat on this character. I know in reality, like you don't see people don't deliberately like go put on a chef hat, but this is like I just feel like a chef hat would help. So part of while I'm working on a design for this character, I'm gonna be playing with different types of chef hats. Like I've looked at, the typical chef hat where it's like a little bulb. Maybe I can go look at like some like the Japanese cuisine type chef hats where they're like, just like little cylinders on top of their head, something to just for people to symbolically say, oh, this guy's a chef. Because if you didn't have a chef in an apron, you can just assume that he just cleaned dishes or anything like that. So I feel like some kind of symbol would be very beneficial for people just to latch on and be like, oh, okay. So throughout the designs, I'm gonna be playing with the hat a little bit.
Were there any other conscious choices that you had made to distinguish him as a chef? Did you
Um,
give him any tools? Does he have any other characteristics that say that is definitely the chef of the Nostro?
oh yeah, so we got the stuff like you gotta look, you got the spatula, you gotta think about what type of stuff they could possibly use. Right now, this is the Earth spatula, but what if you know make a reference to another TV show, the electronic spatula, where it's like all laser. I thought that was funny when I saw that. We got the spoons, and maybe he like possibly like keeps it on his belt right here. Like I know like Japanese chefs, they usually like keep their utensils on close to them so they can just kind of pull it out whenever they need to. As my wife would like to call them, hibachis. Hibachi. You know, there's
So I
always
know you mentioned another source for where your ideas are coming from. What other inspirations do you have and take into consideration in your art?
it's pretty much just a lot of places you can pull from because this is kind of sci-fi. It's coming from so many different places. Like gotta look at real life chefs. You gotta think about the attitudes. Like I kind of relate, try to find some kind of attitude that like some kind of person I know that has like a similar attitude that I want to try to convey a little bit. Like I try to compare them to people that I actually know. That does help when you can relate it to someone real. It helps a lot. That makes sense.
Of course. We do have a viewer, Olivia. She's interested in learning. Are there any future plans for this character?
Oh yeah, but I cannot say what they are.
What we can confirm, Olivia, is that the story of Spice Frontier, as we share it with you, our favorite viewers and our fans, it will flesh out the touching relationship between Datmore and Kent. It will completely show their bond and how Datmore has that pivotal influence over Kent. And while they do eventually part ways, they do remain lifelong friends.
Now, there was something in the text that I thought was really important that we have to get in there was that Datmore wore this necklace of spices around his neck. And, I'm just that one's a complicated idea, which that's another thing you got to figure out. So it's like, you know, we got Datmore here, we got the body type, but now we got to go over here and be like, okay, what does this necklace consist of? Does he have like broccoli? Like, these are really quick sketches, by the way. So I will go in here and clean these up later. But it's like broccoli, carrots, different types of food that maybe he's picked up along the way to kind of, give him like that he, just found and what like and just like as a memoir of like all the different types of foods that he's come across over his time, like he just wears across his neck.
I love that you drew attention to that, because I think that really drives home the dedication to Dartmoor using authentic ingredients.
Mm-hmm.
And perhaps the necklace around his neck does showcase these are not substitutes, these are not replacements, these are genuine, and they help me uphold my prestigious reputation. And it's incredibly important to use authenticity when you create your culinary craft.
Exactly. It's like maybe his species is very like, you know, they like to create memories within their field. So, you know, they like his way, since he's such a culinary person, he wears the spices where someone else, you know, would wear some kind of other, like if I was an artist, I would wear like different type of art materials around my neck. You know, oh, and another thing I'm worried about, since he does work on kind of like a nicer ship, I feel like he is going to wear something of a uniform underneath all of this. The reason I say this is because I've worked theme parks my whole life, and you know, working the caricature booth, even though I was an artist, I still had to wear a uniform. Even though I was a special case, I still had to wear a uniform, and I dirtied it up, but it's still there. So it kind of goes back to just reminding you, like pulling from real life, like how things really work in real life and stuff like that, and making references. And someone just messaged me really loud.
With Dartmoor being the head of the fictional, you know, figurative totem pole of that kitchen on the nostro, it would be important for him to set an example for the rest of his crew. Like, hey, exactly. None of us are above wearing this uniform. This unifies us. This unites us. And he's going to lead by example. And I love that you incorporate that in your art.
See, sometimes you never, I won't lie, there are days where it's just like you kind of testing things out, see what works, and then like sometimes you're like, oh, that works, but then you got to think about like, why does that work? If that makes sense. It's like, but then when I honestly think about it, it's like it works because of blah 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 blah. And some days I have a full idea. So you never know with design. But this is
Olivia like, again. She submitted another question. Are you going to include any recipes in the show that we can make in real life? As in, for example, butterbeer from Harry Potter.
Oh, that would be awesome if we did. Oh, if Jalil, if you're in the chat, yeah, that's something to think about right there.
So in the content to come, as we have so many exciting ideas and different concepts on the horizon for the future, you may spot a recipe or two that will be left as a mystery. But some of the recipes that viewers may encounter might be a little galactic and not so much what humans are used to. And with that, Olivia, thank you for providing a transition in a way. I really would like to touch upon how Dartmoor provides Kent with the very first human recipe book that he encounters and eventually gets to keep, and it becomes his prized, cherished possession. So as Kent is observing Dartmoor on the nostro and working at his side as the sous chef, he's learning every single thing he can. He's absorbing everything like a sponge. And he's encouraged to be bold and creative, experimenting with his own dishes in his spare time. He's so close with Dartmoor, and they spend so much time together. Kent eventually discovers that Dartmoor owns a human recipe book, a human cookbook. And even though he is human, and the life that he's led and the world that he lives in, he's never encountered this before, and it totally piques his curiosity. And this book is very literally the introduction of the realm of Earth cuisine to Kent. And he starts spending so much of his free time recreating the recipes exactly as they're written. And while people love his dishes, they love sampling them, and then he showers them with compliments and everything. He really takes the lesson from Dartmoor to heart that authenticity is number one in importance with your culinary skills and the art that you put out and in food. And he feels that he's falling short in creating those authentic Earth dishes. and he comes to the realization that he possibly can't succeed or feel fulfilled as a chef without those true earth ingredients. So while working as Datmore's sous chef, and the ship, the Nostro, travels from, port to port to port, and it does its route, Kent begins exhaustively searching for those earth ingredients, every city, every trade port, every market, every bazaar. And after all his extensive searching, years worth of searching, he comes up completely empty-handed. And he decides that he needs to lead his life in a different direction and explore more of the universe beyond the Nostro's route as a ship. So his obsession with finding these authentic earth ingredients and these spices, it leads him to parting ways with Datmore and the Nostro. And as a parting gift, Datmore, holding Kent on such a high pedestal, and he's grown to love Kent so much, he gifts him with the human recipe book. And as I mentioned, it becomes his most prized possession. And they do stay in touch, and they do continue a lifelong friendship. And so with Kent being the astounding chef that he currently is in our timeline, he wasn't always that way. And that's thanks to Datmore's influence. And he makes Datmore very proud.
Sorry, I'm getting an echo. Is your YouTube on, Laura?
I have it muted just so that I don't hear myself talking.
Why am I getting an echo? Weird.
We got some space elements interfering. The universe knows we're summoning it. So in your art, Tad, I'd like to pivot just a tiny bit.
Sure, what's up?
How do you make it evident that he is down and dirty, in the action, in the thick of it as a chef? Do you put any stains on his uniform? Are there any grease marks? What do you do as an artist to really convey that?
Oh yeah, that's at the color stage. So right now, I'm like not drawing very well. But when I'm sketching, I'm just focused on, just details and stuff like that, just trying to get the character right. But when I go into color, I like to put all that stuff in there, like stains on the apron, just anything to show that he's a chef, really. I think color is probably the best spots to where you can really, finalize things.
We have a viewer, Heather. She's being very proactive in the comments. Heather, thank you so much. She's let us know that the echo is gone. Tad, she says, you're drawing awesomely. Keep it up.
That's my wife, Heather, by the way.
She does have a question. So from Heather, she says, where did all the history of Earth cooking go? Are humans an endangered species?
Ooh, thank you, Heather. Is that my wife?
Heather Hitchman?
Yeah, that's my wife. Yeah, she is very lore based, so she loves this stuff. So that's a good question.
Yeah, thank you so much for your curiosity. In the world of Spice Frontier, Earth was destroyed hundreds of years prior to where we pick up in the storyline, and the humans, having no home base planet to live upon, they now are scattered across the universe, and they live amongst the 39 known species within the realm of the story. And the humans are not viewed favorably. They are discriminated against simply for being human. And they're not perceived in a positive light whatsoever. Kent, in his life, struggles very deeply and faces great adversity simply for being human. And so in the short, you'll see there's a line where Kent explains that he's in the process of writing a human cookbook, and the publisher he submitted it to rejected it without even reading it. So that does allude to the discrimination that Kent faces solely for being human. And that is why Kent struggles so much the different alien species and the planetary populace, they very much suppress and they try to eradicate the history of the humans. And the cookbook that Datmore gifts Kent, he actually found it in a free book bin on his home planet. So he came across that hidden gem. He knew the value of it and he scooped it up, but it was not a valuable object by any means. It was tattered and old and dilapidated, falling apart in a free book bin. So Kent's passion derives from his desire to rejuvenate recipes that originated from Earth and from humans.
Oh, Alt Button, you're not my best friend sometimes.
All right, so we have a question from Kristen. Thank you so much, Kristen, for participating today and for tuning in. She says, have you gotten to design any alien foods yet?
Nope, not yet. I want the chance to. I really do, but not yet. I'll be honest. That'd be interesting to see what kind of stuff we come up with.
Do you have any ideas? Is there anything that you're holding on to? Like, that would be pretty cool.
Not yet. I have I'm nothing that's like I haven't felt like we've seen before. Like, the typical, ball orb thing with like these like squiggly things
as an artist contributing to Spice Frontier, as those things come to fruition, you will have a crucial role in bringing those to life, and that'll be very exciting in the future.
I know. The like alien dish, some kind of weird little like how like we use crab as a way to eat. Maybe it's just like some kind of weird squiddy thingy. I don't know.
It's so funny that you say crab, because tomorrow's live stream, which we have not announced yet, and we're so excited to have another one tomorrow, the 2D animator, Ben, who will be featured in that live stream tomorrow. He's actually at a crab boil today.
Actually, I think he jumped into the chat. I think he's done with it, but yeah.
Oh, if you have, welcome, Ben.
I don't know why he's not in the stream with us right now. I'm kidding. But I'm going to be in that stream tomorrow, but I'm not going to be drawing. I'm going to be giving him a hard time. So, yeah.
I'd like to revisit Kristen's question and return to those alien foods. So as I mentioned, that the history of human cooking and human cuisine is very much suppressed and trying to be eradicated because humans are discriminated against. In the future, as we share more and more of Spice Frontier with all of you, you will most likely definitely see all different types of alien ingredients and dishes and cuisines, and you'll learn which native planets they come from. So that'll be something very exciting to look forward to in the future.
Sorry, I like that face, so I'm going to keep that face. I'm going to move you over here, and I'm going to take you and bring you down here. So right now, all I'm doing is just shooting ideas, just going. A lot of times when you're in this exploratory stage, you're not really trying to you want if you can get the character down in one time and on the first try, that's great. That's a rarity. It really is a rarity. But a lot of times you just want to play around with ideas. When I talked about that little Japanese chef hat, I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of like, what if it's like small on top of his head? And then,
With Spice Frontier taking place in the future, do you think along with different alien cuisines and dishes and foods, we'll kind of see futuristic gadgets?
Possibly. I mean, if y'all seen the short, we have this Tad, the other Tad, design a couple of the new weapons that, that are in Spice Frontier. I know we've had designs for Ben designed a couple of cool engineering ideas. So yeah, we're definitely going to try to explore. I feel like we're going to explore, having some futuristic ideas on the common tools that most people would take for granted.
Heather submitted another question for you.
Okay.
On average, how many designs do you create before you find, quote unquote, the one?
Oh, goodness. It can really... I can't give an honest number. There have been days where it took me one design. It's like, that's it. Let's go. And then there are other times where I've spent like 2 days just trying to figure out, like, what is this character? Like, and then a couple of meetings. Like, I wish I could talk about some of these characters that, took that long. Like, there was one in particular that I was just like, oh my goodness. Shoot. This is getting...
So we do have some character profiles up on Steamroller's website. Everyone viewing today, you're more than welcome to go to Steamroller's website. If you go under original projects, you'll find Spice Frontier, and you can check out the different profiles for the characters of the Serrano. So Tad, if you're talking about any of the Serrano's crew, you can most definitely name drop and talk about the artistic process, because those are up on the website.
Okay, good. I'm gonna get used to this whole keep it secrets thing, because this is hard. Okay, so if you go into the website, you'll see a character named Maud. One of my favorite characters that I've designed ever, but she was probably one of the hardest characters I ever had to deal with, because she eats rocks. And she is a very morbid type of sense of humor type of character. And, I didn't know where to go. I really couldn't. We had to do a couple of meetings to really, nail her down. And it was actually the day, I remember the day where one of the co-founders, Adam, was like, yes, Guilfoyle from Silicon Valley? It's like, yeah. Think that, but female and alien. I was like, oh, okay, that helps. And then I started really getting the idea, just because like personality is so important to design, and like when he said that, it's like everything clicked for me. So yeah, that she's probably one of my favorite, but she was probably one of the hardest drawings probably one of the hardest designs in my so far, and I pride myself on being pretty quick. But yeah.
It's great that you've alluded to the inspirations behind where to turn when you feel like you've hit a wall, because if you're animating a character, that's not live and an in-action TV show, an live-action movie, people necessarily wouldn't expect that you turned into Silicon Valley, which is not animated, for inspiration.
Oh yeah, you get inspiration from anywhere. Like there have been times where I even reference friends of mine in the design. Like none for Spice Frontier yet, but I hope that it comes along. But there are times where I've designed where it's just like I pull like from my friend Brian, like people I've grown up with. So yeah, you can pull inspiration from anywhere.
We have votes going on in the chat saying that people agree the alien food should glow.
Alien food should glow? What, like it's radiated? That'd be kind of funny. I like that.
Perhaps keep that in mind as you design some of those unheard of alien ingredients and dishes.
Hey, let's see. All right. So right now, I'm just, like I said, I'm trying to keep it to that chef motif. I'm going to go through a little bit. So this one down here, once again, chef hat idea. More like that oversized tuck. Probably won't go with this one just because it competes too much with the silhouette And so maybe, probably not. Gave him a solid apron that doesn't wrap under his belly, just kind of just goes forward, like maybe it's made of leather. And I was also thinking about like one of those travel bags, because we in the story we talk about how he's always meeting up with Kent after work, telling him stories before he became a sous chef. So maybe he kind of like carries this bag with him. I don't know. Yeah, other ideas. And then I like the floppy hat too, but like maybe if we made it smaller, maybe if I took this idea, bring it back over here.
It's interesting to see that you incorporate functionality along with the creative elements, because functionality is certainly important as well for a chef.
Oh yeah. See, when you're in the moment, sometimes you don't realize these things. I'll be honest, sometimes you don't realize these things are going through your brain. But then, like, when you actually sit down and talk about them, you're like, oh, yeah, I do think about these things.
Olivia did submit the question, will there be alien pets? We all love pets. We definitely did take the liberty of adding pets to the story. And I'm happy to share a little bit of Kent's upbringing here with you guys today. So as a child, of course, Kent did feel a bit like an outsider. He did feel a bit lonely because he was human. He was a bit outcasted and discriminated against. He was hidden by his parents just for protection, to make sure that, nobody broke his heart, nobody broke his spirit, just because of his outer appearance alone. And being a bit of a loner as a child, he did, in his exploration of his home world, come across a lizard type creature called Jemet. And he actually very much enjoyed as a child preparing Jemet's food. And he would go foraging for different ingredients out in the wild daily, and he would prepare different dishes for Jemet to take care of him. And he really took pride in altering the different recipes and seeing how Jemet responded to them. So there is Jemet in that lore there, and there might be more pets to come. We'll just have to wait and see.
Let's get into some kind of design for like little salt shakers, like this. Like I'm trying to remember what we have in my kitchen for salt shakers. Because I feel like some things will just never change, no matter where you are. Like salt shakers, that design is just too good. It works. Don't break something that works. You know what I mean?
It is important to incorporate some timeless elements just to keep the story grounded and to help the viewership and the readers and watchers buy into the fact that he is a chef and he is using classic chef tools and ingredients. So I do agree with you there.
Who's to say that they didn't find even though these are salt shakers, he didn't find them somewhere or buy them at a store, like some type of relic. Like he's like, oh, this could be useful. And I love the apron. I don't think you can get away with I think the apron became a staple for this character after for me. It's like I just love the apron. Like maybe if we'll put a little pocket here.
Are there distinctive elements about the apron that it's unmistakably Datmore's?
I don't know. I just it's one of these things where it's just I just feel like it needs an apron. Like he just needs. I think it's because to me, when I look at this one right here, the shape is so wide, it pulls your eye in so much away from his face that I feel like giving him an apron will allow you to move around the form a little bit more. It breaks it up a little bit, and it does. Your eyes don't get caught up in this giant, massive thing. Because if I went in there and I threw color on this, it'd probably be let's give it this color right here.
I do have a question for you, Tad, about the apron. So for those of you who have seen Kent, he has a signature yellow jacket, a very bright, vivid, complementary yellow jacket to his character. Have you ever experimented with putting him in an apron?
I did not design Kit, so I do not have grounds for that one. But if I could talk about this from an artist standpoint, uh, putting Kent in an apron, like, are you talking about like later on, like before we go on the adventure, or like when he's with Datmore here? Maybe I should ask that question before. You know.
Just in different scenes, as you know, he goes out and explores looking for these spices, and then he retreats and prepares dishes. So my
I think.
thought had derived from just while he's cooking.
Oh yeah, if he's cooking, yeah, he probably wears an apron. Like he probably, Datmore's probably like, wear an apron. What are you doing? You know, you know, keep your uniform clean. Wear an apron. But if he's out there exploring, nah, he's not gonna wear that apron for sure.
He's got that signature yellow jacket that looks so snazzy
Yeah,
on him.
yeah, you can't be dirtying that thing up. What's wrong? Like, I feel like the spice necklace like almost feels tribal, which I kind of like that idea. It's just like it's like all these different things on there. It just feels kind of tribal, which I like. I like kind of tell like maybe the species was like maybe it is a tribal type species. I don't know. Let's try something else here. I'm gonna bring these sleeves down. Kind of like I know some chefs they like to they usually wear long sleeve type of things and they roll up their sleeves when they're cooking. So let's play with that idea a little bit.
Yeah, you would imagine it'd be pretty hot and steamy in that crowded kitchen in the
Right?
hustle and bustle of dinner time.
And I just think about Gordon Ramsay. Like every time I watch like Hell's Kitchen or something like that, he's like wearing these like long sleeve shirts. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? But for some reason,
Kevin Smith has asked, what character and game is this for? Thank you so much for your question, Kevin. So this is Datmore, and he was a pillar of inspiration and a mentor to Kent. Kent Williams is the central focus of Spice Frontier. And so Datmore is a supporting character in our world of Spice Frontier. It's actually, Spice Frontier isn't currently a video game. Perhaps in the future, who knows? Anything can happen. Perhaps it will take shape and can branch off and become a video game. But right now, as Spice Frontier stands, it is an animated short. And as we share more and more of Spice Frontier with you, we can't wait to show you the different shapes that it takes and the different directions that it thrives in.
Oops, I made a boo-boo somewhere. Whoopsie.
At the end of this live stream, we will be posting the link to the animated short Spice Frontier in the comments. It is such a treat to watch. It's such an exciting adventure to see Kent Williams and his pilot Sela in action. We highly recommend you check that out. And if you go to Steamroller Studios' website and under the original projects find Spice Frontier, you can learn all about the crew that Kent travels with and the base story that is the central focus point of Spice Frontier.
Okay, we got a couple of good designs here so far. I'm liking a lot of these. And a lot of times it's like, from this point, when I'm working, I don't want to give too many ideas. Like, the art director or anyone you're working with is going to give their opinion no matter what. But you want to give them something to start with. And so, I just like to give, like, just some starting ideas to inspire them. Because when they get inspired, they'll be like, oh, what about this? What about this? What about this? Let's go this direction. I'd be like, oh, okay. And we'll play around some more. Sometimes just keeping it simple and just giving your art director some inspiration, I feel, is a way more productive than be like, drawing a line through his face, than giving like a full 20 something designs and just like overstimulating him and be like, he doesn't know which one he likes. So it's just like, let's kind of like zoom in a little bit. Let's give them some inspiration, and then we'll see what happens. Because all in all, at the end of the day, the process is going to, it's going to take a little while. So, don't try to rush it. Try to give like all these ideas. It's like a restaurant. You don't go to a restaurant that has like 40 different options on the menu. You prefer a restaurant that's like, it knows what it serves, it knows what it wants. So let's do that. And if I don't make sense, let me know. I will try to explain myself.
You are doing fabulously, Tad. And we do have a suggestion from one of our viewers. They said perhaps the chef's sleeves can adjust on their own to help them be futuristic.
We could try that. I just feel like you also got to think about this in like when you're animating, which is something I have a hard time dealing with. That is a cool idea. I just feel like if you're gonna try to animate that, and how, what's the word I'm looking for? Not appropriate. It's a cool idea, but it just wouldn't be something you would see. So it's like sometimes maybe it's like a little fun little like Easter egg that we put into the bio of Dadmore. Like he has these little robots that help roll his sleeves up. But sometimes it's just these some ideas, they're cool, but I don't think they could work at that point in time. Maybe we can try it. Let's give it. So this is how I think when I'm working. Any other? So let's see. Where else can I go with him? At this point, I want to do one more drawing. I want to kind of like do one more. I feel
Please feel free.
Hold on. Yeah, there's my sketch. Edit. Change canvas size. Oh, and to anyone who's curious, I am using Clip Studio because Clip Studio is awesome. All right. Let's see. Oh, I don't know. You just sold Jalil on the retractable sleeve. So actually, you never know. Jalil is the boss man. I think this is the first time you've ever heard my process. I go to work tomorrow or on Monday. Why did you say that? What's wrong with you? I'm like, I'm sorry. I kid.
I love how all alludes to the artistic process is never done, and it constantly takes shape and improves.
And by the way, I'm not too focused on the poses right now. I just want to get the ideas down, and then next I'm going to worry about poses. So I'm going to take an idea. I'm going to try to pose them out. So let's do this. And if you're wondering why I keep copying and pasting, because it's like, why keep drawing the same thing over and over and over again if it's not going to change that much?
For the sake of our live stream and to save on time, just to get through as much as we can for our viewers and share as much as we can with them, I think it is such a smart choice what you're doing.
I don't have all day. All right, let's do something different though. I'm gonna change the shape of this jawline though. So I'll be like, let's give him like a chin. Yeah, let's play with a chin. Like, give him like a real chin. And like maybe like puff out his cheeks a little bit more.
We got conversation sparking over those retractable sleeves.
I guess I'm outvoted on it. I guess. You know what? That's production for you right there. Sometimes ideas are going to fly, and you may not like the idea, but it's really how production works. It's what they want. So, and I'm cool with it. If they like it, then I'll go for it. Let's try it. You should always be open, trying new ideas, even if you're like, try it anyway. What's going to happen? Oh, it doesn't work. Okay. So what? Try it.
I love how everyone is considering the future as well, because Spice Frontier does take place in the future. So everyone's got their mind in the right place.
little bulbous chin. I kind of like that little bulbous chin. Like he's just like kind of screams.
You know what he
like,
reminds me of? I'm looking more and more at him, and he reminds me of, I believe he ended up being the villain in Treasure Planet.
Oh, Silver. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I completely forgot about that one.
Such a gem of a movie, but he's got some deep resemblance to the Long John Silver character, and
Oh
I'm
no.
liking it.
That could scare people off. You're like, oh, you're just doing it. All right, let's see here. I kind of like that reference. Like that was that. I wasn't a huge fan of that movie, but the designs in that movie were pretty good. I like the designs of that movie.
I have always been in the corner of that movie. It's so underrated. People should really give it more attention.
Oh,
Just like people should give Spice Frontier more attention.
Oh, they will. I have no doubt about that. See, now I'm getting more comfortable in drawing the shades. Like, even that's the cool thing about doing these design things too. It's like the more I work on it, the more comfortable I'm becoming with just how this character works.
Kevin Smith said he likes the character design and it reminds him of Don Bluth.
I am cool with that. Don Bluth has some amazing, very iconic characters, so I am down for that.
And commenters are also shocked that you don't like Treasure Planet, which I'm on board with that.
I'm not gonna open that bag of words. This is a art stream. If I do another stream after this, then y'all can yell at me there. But we're gonna focus on Spice Frontier right now. But yes, I have my opinions on Spice Frontier, and I apologize. I'm not Spice Frontier, Treasure Planet. Sorry. I'm gonna go to work and be like, why'd you say this? I'm like, oh, I did it, me too. Sorry, I'm looking up references now. So just using my phone.
Keeping the focus on Spice Frontier, before we wrap up today, I definitely want to see your rendition of Kent Williams for our Draw This in Your Style challenge.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'll show. It's on Instagram, but I'll show it for sure. Give me 1 minute. I want to try to see if I can come up with at least one more good idea.
Oh, yeah. Nope. Take your time. You do your artistic thing.
This is the process, too. It's just like, try to see something that just like sparks something cool. This is like, I know with chefs, the hat size does say something about, maybe that's a concept. Like just for fun. What if he did have this obnoxiously big hat? No, too Pope. Looks like the Pope. He's the Pope of the chefs.
We have a commenter wondering if his necklace could possibly have the spice containers instead of the raw spices.
Yeah, let's try it. Like I said, be flexible. Let's try it. See how it feels. Oh, that's kind of cool. That'd be kind of cool. Like, I have to do some research on some different spice containers. Go into my kitchen in a minute. Maybe it's like a difference because it's like spice containers is a good idea. I just need something to kind of break up, like kind of create some kind of cool flow or like break up the symmetry a little bit. Because being asymmetric sometimes does not look good. So like maybe it's like a back and forth type deal.
I know in the story where Kent whips up that original dish, the Eldrick dish for Datmore, and he tries to substitute out the key ingredient. And then Datmore's like, why would you do that? We have the authentic thing right here in our kitchen in the spice rack. It is a tiny little jar full of that uncommon seasoning with the lid.
See, this is where I need to go into prop design and like do some props because like I do feel like part of character design is also, oh, that'd be kind of cool. Oh, Jalil, if you're watching, because oh, that'd be kind of cool. Okay, so you're probably wondering what is so exciting. Kent has this like iconic jacket design, right? And it's kind of like I can't explain it, but it looks really cool. And I was like, I was thinking about the story where he got that jacket. It's just like maybe it's like from his time on the other ship. He just kind of liked it. Like maybe it's memorable. So like maybe he can wear something like that too, but to the opposite side. Ooh.
Our viewers can check out that jacket if they look at our Draw This in Your Style prompts, if they watch the animated short, or if they go to Steamroller Studios' website. There's various places where they can check out that awesome yellow jacket.
Well, that'd be kind of cool. So, yeah. Jalil, if you're in the chat, man, yeah. Something to think about. That'd be that's like awesome. I like that idea. See, this is the fun part of character design where you're just like, oh, that's cool. What about this one? Oh, yeah. That's awesome. And I just got to show the feet. Like, even though really it's unsanitary for you not to wear shoes in the kitchen, I still feel like, you should have feet. Oh, that'd be kind of cool too. Oh, kiss the cook. Oh, that'd be kind of cool. Oh, that'd be rad. I like that. I don't know.
Look at this. You're sharing your art with the live stream, and the live stream sharing some brilliant ideas right back. I love this.
See, this is the part of production I like. Some artists like to just be by themselves and draw. I like people shooting me ideas, shooting things at me. It's just, this is why I like being in production so much. It's just like we share ideas, we pass it back and forth, and it's like blah, 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 blah. Like, because like by yourself, it's fun and I enjoy it. But there's just something about talking to other people. It's just, you get so much more out of it, in my opinion.
It's the richness of collaboration.
Exactly. All right, cool. I think we got a good amount of designs here. So yeah, I think we have a good amount of designs, and at this point, I would send these all to my art directors, get their opinions about it, and let them pick. Now, how much time do we have? Wow, I've been drawing for an hour. Really? Wow, time flies.
You brilliant artist, you. Is your art director Tad 1?
T1, Jalil. I got T1 is the art director. Jalil and Adam have the final say. So a lot of times the design gets, I send it to Jalil and Adam, let them see it. They'll pass it to the T1, and then I'll get some final feedback or something, and just get some opinions about what I'm doing.
We have 2 different steamrollers who are both named Tad, and they are both brilliant and such strong members of our team. So we scooped up all the world's Tads, and now they're steamrollers.
See, I'm Team T2, so like I like to say I'm Terminator 2. And that's and it's one of my favorite Terminator movies. So.
Kevin Smith is wondering if we're all still working from home.
Oh yeah, but Zoom has been my best friend. I can Zoom people. T2 to T1 requested approval. That's funny. That's pretty funny. See, if I have my choice in design, I would like this one, just because it's very reminiscent of Kent, and I like the hat falling backwards. I kind of like this one for all the kind of like gizmos and stuff that I put on him, plus this like really cool tribal type of necklace. And maybe a little bit of this one as well, but I would probably bring the apron down just a little bit more. So yeah, those are my choices, and then I will send those off. So two Tads at one studio is a tad coincidental. I like that one. I like puns.
That one in the top right corner, does that have the spice necklace with the jars instead of raw spices?
This one, yeah, it has a mixture of both, because I felt like if I just did jars, it would just feel like, even if I did play with the designs a little bit, I kind of feel like there was nothing to break up the monotony of like on his neck. So I was like, let's add both and see how that felt. So because part of the design is just, even that feels a little monotonous. So I have to go in here, push some shapes out, because you don't want things that kind of feel like this when you're designing. You want to kind of go like, you kind of want to add some variance to your shapes, because this feels way more interesting than that. So that's what I'm kind of thinking about, like kind of how to create some cool shape variance and interest around the neck.
And just as each ingredient is unique in its own right, it could take different physical shapes, which is great to have the glass jars mixed in with the actual physical raw spices.
Exactly. I'm gonna draw.
Are you signing it? Is that your name?
No, I'm just designing a broccoli. Like I just designed a little broccoli leaf.
Earlier in the chat, I think you got called out. I think broccoli was pointed out to not be a spice.
It's not, but I also did ramify that by saying like maybe he collected different foods on his neck. Like I kind of changed the story a little bit. They are completely correct. It is not a spice, but I kind of like, well, what if he collected different foods? Like I'm trying to like expand on the story a little bit, like maybe add something to the story. So that's just me adding my 2 cents. And of course,
didn't intend. Oh, go on.
I said, of course, it's my wife that calls me out on it. Like she's laughing at me. I'm gonna be like, it's like I know this.
So, completely different topic, pivoting just a little bit. If you were to sign this piece, how and where would you sign it? I'm very curious now.
Where would I sign it?
And how?
I probably sign it somewhere that's not so like in your face. Because I'm like, some artists like to have their signature seen. Like I kind of like have this like Al Hirschfeld thing about like, well, I can't do it in this piece, but I like to hide my signature in the drawing. Like I think it's kind of fun.
Do you mean hide it like Matt Groening hides his initials in Homer Simpson's ear? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, so it's just like, I just wrote Tad right here. And it kind of looks like part of the broccoli leaf. But if I was to sign it by myself, that'd be my signature right there.
Oh.
So, but yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much the like design process. At the start of the design process, in a nutshell, is just like idea generating. I think is key to character design, just coming up with ideas, and then we can get into poses. Then we can get into really understanding this character. But you got, I feel like starting here, like just helps me move on to the next steps. Because if I try to go straight into poses, sometimes I haven't had a chance to understand the character or what he's about or anything like that. So here I can start to understand and play around, and then I can move into like really pushing poses. Like I can break down the shapes now. I can be like, oh, he has a little plate in his hand, and it's like,
I'm not letting you get out of here without showing us your draw this in your style. I can't, William.
Oh, yes. Hold on. Can you? Crap. Let me see.
Take your time, don't worry. I just want to make sure that we get that in there.
Hold on. I'm gonna stop screen sharing for a second, only because it's on a screen that has other characters on it. So give me a minute, okay? I'm gonna stop screen sharing for one second. because I don't want people seeing some stuff that I'm doing. All right.
I would like to give a little bit of an indicator that we will be wrapping up shortly. And we did so much enjoy our time with you today, but please, if you have any additional questions, shoot those in the chat now, because we'd love to answer those for you and provide that insight before we leave today.
Oh, son of a cracker.
And Tad, it's probably not likely, but earlier up in the chat, there was a bit of a petition going for you to remove your hat.
No, never, never. It's never going to happen. Who started the petition?
It may be somebody living with you. It may be not somebody living with
you. She's funny.
It also may be one of your bosses. Who knows?
All right, I'm gonna screen share again.
All right.
So posted this on Instagram, but I did some more work on it to kind of. So if you might have seen the original on Instagram, but I did some more work on it. You know. Yeah,
there we go.
That's my kid.
Kevin Smith is asking, where can I watch Spice World? So Spice Frontier is accessible in a few different places. If you go onto YouTube, Amaletto shared our animated short with us a couple weeks ago. So you can look at Amaletto, and they're posting a Spice Frontier. We also have it accessible on Spice Frontier's Facebook page. And we will make sure to post the link to the animated short in the comments when we wrap up today. So you can surely watch that. It is such a treat.
Okay, hold on 1 second. So I'm reading the chat right now. So apparently Adam was like, it was me. I write your paychecks, Tad. I'm like, really? Really? Okay, you know what? Just for you guys, I'm going to show you how long my hair has gotten since COVID.
Here we go.
This is how long my hair is right now.
An artist in all his glory.
This is why I wear the hat, because it's way too long. Way too long. I haven't had my hair this long since I was 18. So.
Wow.
Yeah. Quarantine has been. It's like I grow like a chia pet too. It's like chia. I was like, no hat.
Maybe you should make your profile picture one without a hat.
Hold up. I'm going to do a little special thing for all of you, okay? I'm going to draw myself, because I haven't done that in a while. All right.
Ooh, we are getting more than one exclusive today here, folks.
Hold on. I'm going to do this.
Tad, you had mentioned to me yesterday as we were talking that you are a caricature artist, correct?
Yep, I started my whole career as a caricature artist. I was doing that for over 15 years before I finally decided to go into design. Yeah, about 15 years. So.
But this is not a caricature. This is your genuine.
It's a caricature. Like most of my, like if I draw myself, I'm caricaturing myself. It's like it still has a design quality about it, which has always been my thing. Like if you ask anyone who's worked with me, I kind of still have that design type of mentality to my work, but it's still caricature. Like caricature is just trying to grab the likeness of somebody, and it's pretty. Like I aim to try to be as genuine as possible too. So like if it seems like I'm mean to myself, I am, because that's how I see myself on a day-to-day basis. So give me a second.
As a caricature artist, you try to mix the worlds of being genuine and accentuating some features that stand out in a person's physical appearance.
A little bit, yeah. It's like what makes you you? That is the words I use. What makes this person who they are. Like me, it's like I told you yesterday, I look like a Dorito. Like my head is a triangle. I got a little pot belly too. So let's be honest here. It's there.
I don't think Doritos exist in the world of Spice Frontier. Those are long gone.
They exist somewhere. The idea still exists, but yeah, this is how I would usually draw myself. I'm making my neck way too long, so let's fix that right quick. I got giraffe neck syndrome over here, so yeah, not that about that long. So yeah, a quick little caricature of myself for everyone. And I told Ben I'd draw him one day, so I gotta draw him.
Ben is our 2D animator who's going to be joining us in a live stream tomorrow.
And I'll be there with him. I'll be there. Yeah. I'll be doing more talking than I was today. And maybe a little bit more coherent.
Tad, is there anything else you'd like to mention or include before we wrap up today?
Not really. If anyone has any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them. If there's any questions about design or Spice Frontier, please ask. We like being nerds. So if you got any lore questions, let me know. Sorry, my little pot belly.
We will have the comment section below this YouTube video after the live stream ends. So if you think of anything later on, if you're like, I should have asked that when that live stream was going on, please just drop it in the comments. We monitor those. We're more than happy to talk with you and share more about Spice Frontier with all of you.
There you go.
We got Benjamin saying, "You the man, Tad."
Oh, thanks, Ben. All right.
I agree. All right, so thank you so very much to everyone who joined us during this live stream today. It was such a treat for us as Steamrollers to share more and more of Spice Frontier with you. If you enjoyed what you saw, please make sure that you go check out the animated short and follow Steamroller Studios on our various social media channels. We have Twitter, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have LinkedIn. We're easily accessible and love post and comment content on there for all of you. And tomorrow, as we've alluded to multiple times, Steamroller Studios will be conducting another live stream. That focus will be on 2D animation, and it'll be featuring a different Spice Frontier character who packs a punch and commands attention. And that'll take place tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You heard it here that Tad will be joining us too. So you're going to see myself and Tad tomorrow, as well as Ben, our talented 2D animator. Thank you all again so much. And we hope to see you again tomorrow. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of your Saturday.